Welcome back to We're Not Really Here. I'm Natalie Pike and I'm joined on the sofas today by the wonderful Richard Dunn and Andy Morrison. And that is it. 3-0 in today's FA Cup third round tie against Birmingham. And we said here at half time that we would just be pretty much happy if we were in the fourth round tie and fourth round draw even. And we are. Now, just for your information, that fourth round draw will be taking place tomorrow night. So that's Monday night. And that is 7:10 UK time. And for a very first in the FA Cup, they're also going to be drawing the fifth round at the same time. So the fourth round will take place at 7:10, and then the fifth round is about 7:25, and that is UK time. So we will know tomorrow who will be facing in the fourth round, and then if we were to win that, who we'd be facing in the fifth round as well. So we're going to have a little talk about the game, and then we're going to have a little look forward as well to some of the games that we've got coming up. But just thinking about that game there, Andy, at half-time, we were all pretty much buzzing it. It had been a great first-half performance, 3-0 up. But you did say you take it now with no injuries.
Yeah, that's the positives. You know, it was a terrific first half. We were very clinical. We're in the hat now. So, that's probably the positives to take from it. It's very, very difficult to make three changes, and rarely does Pep ever do that. And it become a bit disjointed, become a bit slow, a little bit of sloppiness crept in, and become a bit more difficult. It was never in doubt. It was a comfy afternoon. But as I was just saying to you, the difference of having fans and the expectations and demands they would put on, it really wasn't there in the second half, and it petered away. But we're in the draw.
Yeah, it definitely seemed to peter away the more the second half went on. And do you agree with Andy there, Richard, that if there'd have been a capacity crowd here and 8,000 Birmingham fans and capacity City fans as well, that it perhaps wouldn't have petered out towards the end?
Yeah, you get the energy off the fans. They want to see more goals. They want to see the standards being kept high. And when it's not there, it's maybe job done sort of thing. Take your foot off the gas a little bit. And Birmingham came out and played a back five in the second half, made it a little bit more difficult. There was no space in behind, so they didn't want to be on the end of a hiding, and they had to do what they had done. But I think for City, they'll be more than pleased with what they done in the first half. It was exciting, it was excellent sometimes in the first half, and 3-0 in the FA Cup's a great result.
Yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned there, Andy, about three changes that we made at half-time. So we had John Stones came on, Taylor Harwood-Bellis and Felix Nemetral came on at half-time, and Diaz, Cancelo and Kevin De Bruyne went off. What did you think initially when you saw those changes at half-time?
Well, you wanted to see how it developed, and it, like I say, became you don't want to get into bad habits and start making mistakes and giving the ball away, and it's an opportunity as well. I mean, I'm sure Jesus probably frustrated that he hasn't got a couple of goals. Strikers live and die by their goal record, so he would have been wanting a few chances. He would have still been, active and wanting to be involved, and it's a chance for the players who've come on to impress, to show the manager that in key moments they can look after the ball. So I was surprised at three changes, and again, it took a bit of time. The fluidity went out of the game. But again, it's game time, and it's keeping everybody playing games. Frendino's come on, which is just freshened everything up again. And it's job done. It'll be that tick a box job done in the next round.
Yeah, definitely. And it also gives a chance for some key players to get rested. So we got Diaz coming off at half-time, and obviously we want to make sure he stays fit. And then John Stones coming on and going into a centre-back partnership there with Taylor Harwood-Bellis also keeps his fitness up and gives a youth player that is got really high prospects and we often hear about and has been on the subs bench a few times. It gets him a chance to play with what we're saying, England's best defender at the minute, John Stones. Yeah,
it's a great experience for him. And I've heard Pep speaking before about the under-23 level and saying it's not realistic and it's not the same level as going from there into a Premier League team. It's very difficult. And today there was a couple of occasions where you can see the intensity is different, and you have to be sharper on the ball, you have to move it quicker, you have to be on your toes all the time. And 45 minutes here is an unbelievable experience for the young lads, and it will bring the game on no end.
I was really gutted though. My one downside is that I really wanted Bernardo Silva to get that third goal. I really wanted him to get the hat-trick. And he had a few chances as well, Andy, didn't he? But he just didn't manage that hat-trick.
Yeah, the finish in the first half was incredible, and the technique, and then there's a couple of half snapshots in the second half, and of course he'll want to get the ball, he'll want to get the hat trick, but it just wasn't meant to be. But I was very pleased with him. I just thought again, every moment in the second half there was a bit more energy, and it looked more likely that we'd create an opportunity. It was normally Bernardo Silva that had the ball. We lost that key. De Bruyne, he starts so many patterns of play. His vision and his awareness and his tempo and pace of pass changes the direction of the game. He almost instructs you with the way he plays you the ball, what's around you, and we lost that a little bit in the second half. But Bernardo will. It's 90 minutes, and that's key for him at this. Because he's been in and out, and I'm sure he's sent a message out today to the manager. I want to play next week.
Yeah, and we can't forget that first goal. I can't wait to watch that again. I'm just going to keep replaying his first goal today. You mentioned Kevin De Bruyne there. I think it's really, I am pleased that he came off in terms of he was able to have a rest when we're 3-0 up, because we know how important he is. Do you think the difference in the performance of the first half and the performance of the second half was largely down to the fact that Kevin De Bruyne came off, or is it many other factors? I
think it's the 3 changes. I said it's very, very difficult. It felt a bit like a pre-season game where you make 4 or 5 subs and then the whole structure of the game changes, and obviously De Bruyne has got huge standards, so he's not going to accept any sloppiness. He won't accept that. Diaz the same, has come off at half-time, another key member. He's going to make sure that there's nothing starts creeping in, the odd stray pass and a lack of energy to then get the ball back. They would have made sure that doesn't happen, but he's fresh. It's 45 minutes, his job done, and there's nobody picked up anything there today, so it's been a great day's work.
I don't often like to linger on sort of refereeing decisions, but there was 2 incidents in the second half I just wanted to get your opinions on. So in about the 60th minute, Riyad Mahrez went through, and I thought Riyad Mahrez had a great game. He created loads of chances. He's really playing with confidence. But it was when VAR looked at it back, it was flagged offside. It was so close though, wasn't it, Richard? We couldn't work it out.
It's an armpit again, or an arm, or whatever it is, and it's so difficult. You want to come and you want to watch goals, and I said 4-0 as well, so that would have been the icing on the cake for me. But it's difficult because we want to celebrate goals, you want to see it, and for the minuscule centimetres that they're offside to rule out goals is disappointing.
I think it was an armpit offside or something. But that offside rule, I'm still finding really confusing, the changes that they made this season as well, because Birmingham had a chance sort of around about the 85th minute, Andy. Now, when I was able to catch some of the replays, it ended up being flagged offside for a passage of the play that had been about 2 minutes before the end of the play. Now, in my head, as just a normal person, I'm thinking, but what if one of our defenders, not knowing that, is legging it back and picks up an injury when he was offside minutes before? I find the rule really confusing.
Yeah, it is. And there was a shot, and I think the keeper may have spilled it, and then you've got a collision, and that's not even part of the game because the game's already changed. And it's about enhancing the show and and the performance and raising the game. And I think it's hindering the game more because we all know that it's offside, and then the play's carrying on, and players aren't sure what goes on, and then 20, 30 seconds later, the flag goes up. And if that's benefiting the game, then I'm missing something. So it is frustrating. And I'm sure, again, that's something they'll tweak this season. They'll look at it at the end of the year and somewhere in between the two, because you want it to go through because VAR needs to see whether it was on or offside. But there has to be a point where, you take it back a bit quicker than that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think so, as we said, though, the key things from this game, the win, we're in the fourth round draw, and it was just a great performance. Now, as we were mentioning before the game, we were talking a lot about momentum and confidence. Again, it's another win, it's another competition, but now we're going into a run now of 5 Premier League games. With the level of confidence we're on, that win's really important for momentum going into the Premier League, isn't it, Richard?
Yeah, definitely. And again, to take something else, it's another clean sheet for the team. They've done really well, and it's something they've been building. And once you've got that sort of base at the back, you've got every chance. And we know what talent City have going forward. And the next 5 games look very favourable for Man City, and it's an opportunity. I think there may be a game or 2 in hand on the rest of them around the league. So all of a sudden, if you win those, you're looking and you're a point behind, and everyone's going, well, who's the team in form? And it's City. They can see them coming, and starts to put a little bit of jitters in the other sides, and they start to worry. And so the momentum grows and grows and grows, and the confidence grows. And when you want to be in form, you want to be at the top level is these months, March, April, May, sort of coming into that, and City are certainly grown and look like they're going to be there around that time.
Yeah, the league is still an odd one because everyone's played so many different games. So we've got 2 games in hand on Liverpool, who are top of the league. So if we win both our games in hand, we go 2 points above Liverpool. United have got 1 game in hand on Liverpool. So if they win, they'd go 2 points or 3 points ahead of Liverpool, and we'd be a point behind. It's still so confusing because everybody's played so many random different games. But in terms of our next 5 games, Andy, we've got on Wednesday night, they're coming thick and fast. We've got Brighton at home on Wednesday. Then we've got Palace at home on Sunday. Then the following Wednesday, this is the 20th, we've got Villa at home. Then at that weekend, we've got West Brom away. And then following that game on the 30th, we've got Sheffield United at home. There is an FA Cup game to fit in there somewhere as well for the 4th round. But in terms of the league, 5 games in January, 4 of them at home. You know, Villa, obviously, we know are a tough team, but it is a favourable looking 5 games, so that you'd really be hoping for, I don't want to jinx it, you'd be hoping for 15 points really there, wouldn't you?
Well, you would, yeah, without a shadow of doubt. And I think we're in that period of the season now where the manager won't look ahead any further than the next game. And that's the way he works. You know, it's win that one and then look at it after that. But, you know, tracing ahead, there's got to be 15 points. But I still think teams are going to drop points. And I still think even if there's a draw in amongst that, you know, it's not a disaster. Because no team are on this relentless run like it has been for the last couple of seasons. Points have been dropped. Draw, you know, it's more difficult to win games of football. So, yeah, we obviously 5 wins would be ideal, but if it's not, it's still not the end of the world. You know, it's going to be very close this till the end.
Yeah, and then I think in February, I feel like it's the start of February, but I'm not looking too far ahead. As Andy says, we play Liverpool. So if we go into that game above them, that is looking seriously tasty. But I'm not getting that far ahead of myself yet. You mentioned the clean sheet though, Richard. It wasn't in the forefront of my mind because we've seen so many of them. I really shouldn't be taking those clean sheets for granted. I did know all the stats, the number of clean sheets we've had this season in comparison to us across Europe as well, because a couple of weeks ago we had the most clean sheets of any top club in Europe. But there's been so many of them, I've actually lost track of the stats now, so you'll have to forgive StatNat. But that's StatNat, that's awful, isn't it? I hope you all just cringed when I said that. Apologies for that. That clean sheet, though, that is so important. Do you think that we could be getting ourselves a reputation now for being so solid in defence that perhaps when teams are coming here, they're already kind of anticipating that it's difficult to score against us?
I think so, yeah. I think they know. Maybe before they felt there was an opportunity that they could sit back, they could defend deep, and then they could hit us on the break or capitalise on an error or something like that. But they look so solid, and with the way they've been playing with Cancelo coming in to make that double sort of 6, there's a strong block in the middle of the pitch, and if it goes out wide, they seem to be quite happy to allow that. But as a team, they look really strong. There's not many mistakes in defensive areas, and we spoke about Diaz before the match, and he's someone, if there is a doubt, the ball gets cleared. There's no messing around. There's no little tippy-tappy passes. The ball gets cleared and they move on, they resettle and find the places again. But it's a brilliant reputation to have, isn't it? To be one of the best, strongest defences in European football is amazing from where we were a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's certainly not something you probably would have guessed that we'd be saying this year about us, you know, if you'd asked us sort of 6 months ago or so. Now, nobody in the studio managed to get the right prediction today for the scores, but that's fine, we'll accept that. But let's find out now if anybody in the studio managed to get the right guess on our mystery blue. So here's your last chance to have a little look at the mystery blue. And we had guesses of George Weah in the studio, and we also had guesses online, Paolo Wanchop, Sean Gota. So let's have a little look. Who is the mystery blue for today? And it is Andy Morrison. It's George Weah. Congratulations, Mr. Morrison. You said you thought it was George Weah, and you were right. Are you absolutely super chuffed with yourself?
Absolutely. After my 6-0 prediction, which looked very strong, yes, I'll take one right today.
And well done to those. We did have about 4 or 5 people that tweeted in as well, that got the right answer as well. We do love hearing, reading your tweets and seeing your answers as well. We had a wide variety of guesses. I can't even remember who you guessed now, Richard.
Trabelsi.
Well, see, that was, I do like an original one. So some of the, oh no, I don't have the tweets. Apologies. I was going to read your tweets out there for the people that got it right, but I don't have it. But well done if you did guess on, tweet into us with the right answer of George Weah. So gents, we were hoping that we might have got a little interview with somebody, but they look like they're taking their time down there today. So we'll just wrap up. We'll just say thank you. And final thoughts on today's game, Andy?
Perfect day. A 3-0, clean sheet, no injuries, no suspensions. A great day at the office.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Andy. And you know what? As I've said that, they've got quick. Natalie wants an interview, so we have got a quick interview just before we wrap up. Here is the thoughts of Zack Steffen.
Some superb goals as well. Particularly that first finish from Bernardo Silva was special.
Yeah, it was class. Yeah, he's a special player. Yeah, I was back there yelling and screaming. But no, congrats to him. Yeah, congrats to the guys. It was a good performance.
There wasn't too much for you to do during the game. How hard is it as a goalkeeper when you have long stretches where the ball isn't anywhere near your penalty area and then suddenly you have something to deal with?
Yeah, that's our job, to stay focused for 90 minutes. I'm lucky that I'm on a team where I get to touch the ball at least with my feet. That'll keep me active. So, yeah, it's just communicating and staying connected in the game.
And Edison, thankfully, has recovered and is back on the bench. Have you enjoyed your run in the of games when he's been out? Do you feel like you've been able to show what you can do?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing. It was great to get out there for a couple games. I felt, confident. I got more in a rhythm. That's why we play, is to get out on the field. And I thought the guys in front of me did a really good job these last 3 games. It's been a pleasure, and I'm going to keep working hard to get back out there.
And just finally, of course, Manchester City have already secured one trip this season by getting through to the League Cup final. How much of a target is the FA Cup for this side as well?
Absolutely. We want to lift as many trophies as we can. We want to win as many games as we can, and just play the best football that we can. So yeah, our goal is to lift a trophy at the end of the season.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Zach. Take care.
Thank you.
And that was the thoughts of Zack Steffen after today's 3-0 victory. Another clean sheet for him as well. So thank you so much for joining us here on We're Not Really Here. Thank you so much to Richard and to Andy. Hopefully we'll see you both again soon. We are back here on Wednesday night. I think it's Kyle, it might be Kel, who is here taking you through that game, which is Brighton at home in the Premier League. And hopefully that'll be another 3 points and we can carry on with our incredible form and hopefully another clean sheet as well. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on Wednesday.